my goodness. Okay. I don't think anybody's here yet. I'm just going to wait and see if my sound is working. So we're going to hear some weird things go off here, hopefully, if I chose the right class. Let me make sure I did. Why aren't we coming on? There we are. I don't think anybody's here yet. I'm just going to wait and see if my sound is perfect. So I can mute that. I just finished the tutorial for this. And I'm so glad I finished it before we start cutting because there's so much stuff we need to take into account. So we'll just hold on and wait for people to come on. I'm just going to deconstruct from finishing the tutorial. A little unorganized. Hi, Cynthia. Look, I finished it 2 minutes ago. It almost broke my machine. We have to talk about what materials not to choose to do this bag. Oh my gosh. Okay, let me just get organized here. I'm clean up from finishing the tutorial and then getting into class mode. Cynthia, you're cutting along with me today? Oh my gosh, what a mess. Hey, Dawn. Dawn, are you cutting with us today? We have lots to discuss about materials. It may, change your mind what you use after I tell you what I learned from doing this one. I mean, it turned out, it's not perfect. My gussets wouldn't come all the way together, but it will work for what my client needs, so it's all good. And my client is my cousin, so she has to like it. Cutting with me? Thin vinyl and fabric. Yes, I used Mormino vinyl, which is thicker, with 600 denier waterproof canvas, and my safety clutch went off of my machine. It was too much for my 1541. Right where the wings join, and you'll see here, I have holes in the bottom. My wings don't go all the way to the bottom because it was just too thick with the materials I chose, but it's okay for a wallet. It's fine. It'll be fine. The one I'm doing for class, I'm doing in cottons, and I'm really debating if I want to use the canvas. I may just do the canvas for the main panels, but I would suggest maybe for, if you're using vinyl for the gussets, don't use vinyl. I'd use cotton. That's because that was where my challenge was trying to get through all of that thickness. Like, look at, you see the thickness I had to go through there? And my machine did it, but it didn't want to. And that's saying a lot because my machine can go through everything. So thin vinyl and cotton, I would say will be fine if you're on an industrial. If you're on a domestic, I would go with cottons. What does Joe recommend? I believe this was written for cottons. Due to small size of the bag, I highly recommend quilting cotton for everything except the flap. And I completely understand that now. If using a thicker vinyl, I used a thick vinyl. I did mine all in vinyl and canvases. And I was almost crying half an hour ago because I didn't think I was going to be able to do it. And I'm on a 1541. It was, oh, Dawn, it almost didn't do it. I thought I was going to break my machine. It did not want to. The clutch went off. The machine locked up. I had to press the safety clutch button to get it going. I got it done, but I'm glad that this is a gift for my cousin. She's actually going to buy it because she bought a purse to match this, but because it's not perfect, I'm just going to give it to her because my gussets right here, I couldn't get it to come all the way down because of the materials I chose. So yeah, I'm just looking at my materials I have here because I was going to do canvas again, but I don't think I'm going to, even though I'm using cottons, but it's nice inside. I mean, it doesn't look like I made a mistake, but yeah, see? But I mean, it's a wallet, so don't put anything, she just can't put anything in that's going to fall out the sides there. But otherwise, it turned out pretty nice. It's actually a really easy sew. It's a very unique construction. But yeah, 100%, 100%, 100%, even on industrial machines like me, don't do it in all vinyl and canvas. My machine almost didn't do it. So I strongly recommend following, especially if you're on a domestic, Joe's recommendations of quilting cottons, and then just like the vinyl for like the accent straps and everything. So it's bigger than I thought it would be, but yeah. So the tutorial's done. I have done the editing as I went. It was what I was doing all day today. Seriously, I finished it 5 minutes ago. So now I just have to do voiceover tomorrow, and then it will be up for you guys. So yeah, you can't tell that I struggled. Now as a crossbody, like you have the wristlet or the crossbody option. This crossbody strap actually goes with a different bag that I made, because she's got a crossbody strap already that goes with the bag I made her. But actually, it works really good as a crossbody. Look at that. Woo! I should have changed. My clothes are ginormous. I'm sorry. I have to go shopping. I've lost way too much weight, I think. So yeah, I wasn't sure how, like, because it kind of looks like it hangs funny, but when it's on the body, it actually is really good. So in the class, I'm not going to show you how to do the crossbody, and I'm not going to show you how to do the wristlet, because you can do it however you want. You may not want it to even be. You may want it to be a clutch. So if you're doing a wristlet, you can decide and make your own wristlet. And if you're doing the crossbody strap, do it as a crossbody. Mine, I'm actually doing as a crossbody, but I don't think we need to cut. Well, no, maybe we'll cut that together today. We'll see. Hi, Kim. Kim, are you making this one with us? We were just discussing fabrics and what not to use. Do not use what I used in this altogether, because it set off the safety clutch of my machine. So I used a Mormino vinyl, which is the thicker vinyl. Just love this vinyl. And then the Canuck Loon Black and canvas. And it was where these gussets are. So you got to realize that where these gussets are, that's also where my card slots meet, my vinyl meets. 4 layers of canvas. Yeah, gussets, do not use canvas at all. If you're using vinyl on the outside, I would recommend using a quilting cotton for the inside. And make sure it's a thinner vinyl, even if you're on an industrial. The one I'm doing for class, I'm doing in cottons. And I had waterproof canvas out, but I'm thinking I may have to go into my stash quickly before doing it and pick out a different fabric, because I think I'm not going to use the waterproof canvas for that. So yay! But it's a great make, really unique construction. I just love it. Believe it, we turn it through the outside here and then hide it with this thing. It's ingenious. But yeah, Joe recommends doing this with cottons, except for the accents in vinyl. And I 100% say they're right. So yeah, Cynthia, what kind of vinyl are you using? I would actually say if you're using vinyl, you might not want to use a waterproof canvas, unless it's a super thin waterproof canvas. I mean, for my 1541, which is pretty heavy duty, it got mad at me a little bit. Let's talk about interfacing a little bit before we get in. And so there's so much to talk about with this one. Because Joe is back in the UK, her interfacings are different. You do want to make it, Kim? It is actually really cute, but yeah, don't do it in all vinyls and 600 denier waterproof canvas like I did. Yeah, I didn't think I was going to get through that top stitch, and I did. But yeah, I definitely didn't get these gussets the way I wanted it to, but it is okay. It works the way it is. Okay, interfacing that she talks about in this. Now it is very, 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 the vinyl and fabric inside the wall, thin vinyl. Okay, really thin vinyl. Very important to keep the interfacings outside of the seam allowances. So she recommends, let me find her fabric recommendations. materials. So she has an ultra firm stabilizer. I mixed it up between a Decaville Heavy and EB Fuse Heavy, depending what you were using for your stabilizers. So I'm trying to remember which one she had. I just made it and I already don't know. I'm now trying to think of what we will be doing for cottons, because I'll be doing that. Let me see. Main lining. She does call for in the lining fabric a lightweight non-woven interfacing. We don't have anything like that in North America, I don't think. I ended up using... That was for the card slots. I actually ended up using EB Fuse Medium. I like to use EB Fuse Medium for my card slots, especially when they're cotton card slots. But very important that we are keeping it right out of the seam allowances on those sides. I had no problems with my card slots getting through. Yes, use EB Fuse Light if using cottons. Let me just double check here. If you are on a domestic, front slip pocket, one lining. Let me double check something. Said her interfacings are a little bit different than what we're used to. Said I used waterproof canvas in this tester one. Fold on dotted lines. Okay. She says for the lining not to use a woven interfacing, to use a lightweight non-woven interfacing, which we don't really have that here. If you are on a domestic machine, I would say don't even interface your cotton pieces. I don't think you will need to. If you are on an industrial, you'll have to. And if you're using cotton pieces, then go ahead and use SF101 or EB Fuse Light or something like that. Otherwise, your machine will eat up your cotton pieces. So yeah. And then for my card slots, I used EB Fuse Medium outside the seam allowances because it gives a really, really nice and sturdy card slot that doesn't sloop in, if that makes sense. And it stays enough out of the seam allowances that you don't have to worry about that. Another really good substitute for in card slots is Pellon, 809 if you don't have EB Fuse Medium, or you can just use EB Fuse Light as well. In my flap here, I have Decaville Heavy. In behind my two overlays, so this one here and this one on the bottom, I use Decaville Heavy. My main panels, I will be using, it calls for Decaville Heavy, I believe. Main panel, ultra firm. I'm going to use EB Fuse Heavy, which is similar to a Decaville Light. I think if you're interfacing your cotton with a medium woven interfacing and then with an Decaville Light, it'll be more than enough. Unless it's a super thin cotton, then definitely go with a Decaville Heavy. Yes, it's okay to use SF101 on the card slot. But yeah, said on this one, I probably didn't even need to interface. Well, you kind of do because you use the interfacing as a guide for folding up some edges and everything like that. So if you're using vinyl, I would say to use a Decaville Light rather than a Decaville Heavy for your main panels. And cotton, you can decide if you want to do Decaville Light or Decaville Heavy, depending on how stiff you want it to be. But yeah. Have I confused everybody all together? Are there any questions about anything? I said, because I just finished making this not even 10 minutes ago, and it got thick. So, okay, I might have to revisit what I am using for my things here. Let me just kind of grab my bin. And I might have to go and find, because I don't think I'm going to use my waterproof canvas for this. I was going to use this waterproof canvas, and I'm not going to. My exterior I am doing in scraps. So I've got, I think I got this from Spoonflower once upon a time. And I think this is going to end up being my lining. Yeah, this will end up being my lining, and I'm going to go grab a different cotton for my card slots. Okay, so just give me one moment while I go and look in my fabric stash for one more cotton to use for this, okay? I'll be right back. It's just on that side of the messy room. One moment. Oh my goodness. Last minute changes. I'm actually just going to check if I have any other star type stuff. If you guys can even hear me, I don't know. Ooh. Oh, never mind. I changed my mind. Oh, there's Dexter coming in the room. Bear with me. Ooh, I think I have a good idea. Oh, it's Cocoa Beans. Hi, Coco. I think this is going to work. So I found these in my stash that I've had, and it's like, I think I can do one with the card slots and one is my main lining, and it's going to just keep going with that whole astrological type thing, and I think that's going to be like really nice. Yes, that's what I'm going to do. Flap is thin vinyl. Can I use another thin vinyl color for the other side of the flap? Yes, because the flap, you won't have to worry about too much with the thicknesses of the flap, because it stays out of the way of the main top stitch. It's the main top stitch that was where I struggled with the thickness. So, okay, I think I have everything figured out now. Alrighty. All right. So this is going to be my main body. I'll have to think about interfacing. Oh my gosh.
You've got a text message.
Okay. Did anybody else join us? I feel really out of sorts just because I was working on this tutorial all day and then jumping into this. So it's been a really long day already. Okay, so I have, let me close the door. Cynthia, Kim, Dawn, anybody else there? Diane said she may be late if she's a little busy right now. Dawn, Kim. What is the overlays on the wallet? You'll want to do those in a vinyl. So this is an overlay. See where my D-rings are connected? And then this bottom piece here is the overlay. Those are good in vinyl. So yeah, I am going to cut my, you can decide if you're going to do a crossbody strap or a wristlet. We're not going to do those together in this class. I'm not going to cut my crossbody strap because I got to go, this is all I have for black. I have to go and buy some more before I can do the crossbody strap. So I will do that separate. Yeah, so the crossbody strap and the wristlet are completely optional if you want to do them. If you aren't doing those, you'll just leave off the D-rings. If you want it to just be a clutch or just like a wallet. You'll just leave off the D-rings. You'll still have the overlay, but leave off the rest of it. Or you can make just one D-ring for a clutch or whatever you like. So this one, I just took this off of a different bag. It doesn't go with this one, but my cousin had bought my Yasmoda that I made in these same fabrics, and she wanted a matching wallet, so she ordered this one. But because I couldn't get those gussets perfect, maybe I'll just make her take me for lunch or something. All right. Just gonna remind my husband that I have class. He sometimes forgets, so he's on his way home. All right, any questions about interfacing at all? So you'll decide on what interfacings you want to do based on your fabric choices. We won't cut the interfacings together. I think we've gone over them enough. Again, the interfacings for the main panels do stay out of the seam allowances when it comes to doing that final top stitch. It is a clutch wallet. It's big. So it's got the slip pocket there for a phone. On the inside, you've got 2 large slip pockets, and then 12 card slots and a zipper pocket. It actually comes together really, really super fast. I just hate that my stitching is so messy because my machine struggled. My machine has never struggled before. Oh my goodness. So I probably, because I'm using cotton, I probably could have used canvas, but I'm just going to go all cotton and see how that goes and how that works. Hi, Diane. How are you? Diane, are you home yet, or are you still in Toronto? We already went over materials to use in this wallet. Yeah, Diane, I almost broke my 1541 with it by choosing the wrong fabrics. So do not use a thick vinyl and canvas together for this one. Even if you're on an industrial. It is a nice size. Okay, so now that I think I have myself organized, are we ready to get a cutting? Still in Toronto? Are you going to make this one when you get home, you think, Diane? I hope your husband's feeling better. This one's pretty quick to cut out. Let me find my cutting sheet. So the cutting chart is on page 20. Oops, I don't want to put that in there. Be home Thursday. Excellent. Okay. Oh my gosh, my table is such a mess. You want to see this? This is crazy. Look at this. Okay. Let me get this under control. Oh my gosh. Clear all this stuff away. Okay, so why don't we start with our vinyl pieces first, okay? Just because that's what I have here. Okay, you can decide if you're going to be Dawn 22 months. Dawn's been with me for the very first class, so wow, we've been doing this for 22 months. That's crazy. Okay, where did I put the purse? I lost it. Oh, there it is. Okay, so the parts that I have done that I'm going to cut in vinyl is this flap, this back overlay, and this overlay. Do not use vinyl in the gussets, trust me, because this is where I almost broke my 1541. And see, it was so thick, I couldn't get them all the way together, but it still works. So we are okay. Good thing that's a finished edge there, so. Okay, so let's cut out those first. So we want to find flap piece B. I can't give out any measurements as we go through. Flap piece B. So you decide if you want to cut a crossbody strap or not. Okay, so again, I'm using scraps. I'm using lots of scraps for this. So I'm going to draw out my flat piece, so my exterior flat piece. Now this, you will, for homework, fuse outside of the seam allowances your heavy stabilizer. I will be using Decovil Heavy. Now in the pattern, she says to fuse it to the lining piece. I prefer to put it on the exterior piece because it helps block the prongs of the magnetic snap. Now, I'm using a magnetic snap for this. You can definitely use a turn lock. She does give math on how to figure out the placement of your magnetic snap, which I will show you how to do too. Okay, so that's flap piece B. Flap B. I need an empty bin. Okay. Next, what I'm doing in the vinyl, so I'm doing vinyl in all of the overlays. So this is your contrast. And of course, I will be doing my crossbody strap in this as well. Where am I? So working top section, we've done B. And I will show you, I'll show you that later. Two overlays, which is piece E. You want to draw out two of those. Okay, here's my piece E. Hello, hello. That's my stabilizer piece for that. There it is. So this is for those overlays, and it's really nice because she provides the pattern pieces for the interfacing as well. So, yay. Oh, I'm putting it this way because I can't show you guys the measurements that are on this. You can definitely use ruler measurements if you prefer as well. So you want to draw two of these overlays. Oh, Brady's upstairs. Can you guys hear him talking? He's working, and I think he's in a Zoom right now, and he's right above my head, and I can hear his voice. Okay, and that's all I'm going to cut besides the crossbody strap I'll be doing in this. I actually may just make a webbing one for this one. Can't hear Brady? Okay, good. No, they are not raw edge. Not raw edge at all. There are no raw edges in this bag. There's no edge coating in this bag. None whatsoever. Okay, so as we cut things out with each piece, I will explain how you will be interfacing these for homework. Okay, so for these overlay piece Bs, you're going to notice on the pattern piece that there's about a 1/2 inch on each side. So you will be measuring on the wrong side of these, 1/2 inch for both of them. And then you'll be cutting your Decovil Heavy piece as per pattern piece L, and you will be putting it nice and centered. I obviously didn't measure something right. Or I cut this off. It'll be nice. Oh no, that's fine. It'll be nice and centered here, right in the middle. And that's where you'll fuse your Decovil Heavy pieces or your Peltex pieces on the two overlay pieces. Because what's going to happen is how these get rid of the raw edge is we'll have that Decovil Heavy piece in here. We're going to end up folding the raw edges over and using that Decovil Heavy piece as our guide. So for homework, for those two pieces, go ahead and put Decovil Heavy or Peltex on the back of those. And if you don't have Decovil Heavy, you can definitely use 2 layers of Decovil Light or 2 layers of EB Fuse Heavy. Stop me if there's any questions. Okay, so that is my 2 overlays done. And my flat piece. Now this bag, I cut it out and sewed it all and did my tutorial all today, so you guys know. Look at this terrible mess. So it is pretty fast. So to interface this one, you will take your flap stabilizer, which is, I use Deckable Heavy. You can put it on the lining piece if you like, but just trust me, if you're using magnetic snap, you'll want to put it on the exterior just so it hides. You don't see the prongs through it once we have that on. And you will, this is your Deckable Heavy piece, and you will fuse it outside of the seam allowances just like so. Oh, I think Dawn's saying that she can't hear my son Brady. His name looks almost the same as mine. But she can hear me, I think. Can everybody hear me? Okay, so that is flap exterior done. We've talked about the interfacing. Okay, so now let's work on the main panels. And I'm going to be using, this is my main panel. I apologize for my mess here. And I'm going to be doing a little bit of fussy cutting. I was actually really proud of myself, even though it's kind of hitting. Look at my fussy cutting. Can you see it? Look how good it did. Whee! It's proud of me. But you don't actually really even notice it with the flap over, so maybe I won't worry about it on this one so much. That's okay, Kim. Everybody says I named Brady after myself just because his name is the same as mine, just without an N. All right. I actually think I may use this for the underside of my flap as well. Yeah, I think I'm going to, for the lining side of my flap, I think I'm going to use this fabric as well. So I'm going to do my main panels, the lining side of my flap in this fabric. And this fabric, I will be backing it all with EB Fuse Light or SF101. And I think I might actually use Deckable Light. Yeah, because this is a thicker. Probably use Deckable Light as my main stabilizer, so you can decide what you want to do. Okay, so for main panel piece A, you want to make sure you don't have it folded up at this dotted line. That is something that comes into play later. And we need to cut out 2 of these. So if you're using vinyl, go ahead and draw them out and cut them out. I'm just going to cut it straight out of the fabric. Actually, do I want to? No, here's mine. Now, if you're doing a directional fabric, the curvy part is towards the top. And if anybody is watching this after the fact, if you need help figuring out what interfacings to use based on your fabric choices, feel free to reach out to me. Okay, so that's 1. And 2. I can't see this bag being a 4-class bag. I think we'll be done this one in 3 or 2.5 even. It's pretty fast. There's a wallet, that's why. Okay, so those are the 2 main panels. Again, because I'm using cotton, I'm going to back them with, I think I'm going to use Deckable Light. We'll see how thick it goes once I've done the EB Fuse Light on there, and then we'll decide if I'm using Deckable Heavy or Deckable Light. I'm gonna make sure that wasn't folded up. Good, okay. So those just need to be interfaced. Where are my clips? There. All right. And I'm going to do my lining for my flap out of the same material. Oops. So yeah, if you're on a domestic, you may not even need to interface. May not. Okay. Hello, Lauren. I wish that Apollo could come and play with Dexter. All right. What do I want to do? What do I want to do? Oh, okay. So we're not done with this fabric just yet. Trying to use up all the scrap. I don't want to put any of it away, so I'm going to use it for my front slip pocket as well. So I got my main panels ×2, those are A, and now we have our front slip pocket. Now this one you have to be really careful because it looks like, I'm trying to hide the measurements, it looks like a rectangle, but it's actually a trapezoid. It goes up like this. So it's very important to know which is the top of your fabric. So we will mark that on the back. I think I'm going to do my slip pocket exterior and my slip pocket lining in this fabric as well. And then I think that'll pretty much use up all of this fabric. So I'm going to cut 2 of these. Again, be very aware because it's just a very slight trapezoid, but it will make a difference. So for now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to actually do my center snip along the top. I'm not going to do the center bottom snip. And then when I go to start sewing with this, I'm going to know which is the top of this pocket, which is important. Okay. Or on the back, you could write a T, but that might get covered up with the interfacing when you interface it. So, okay. Same with the lining. You'll want to know which is the top because this is a slight trapezoid. I don't think it would be the end of the world if it got upside down. Everything makes sense so far? How are you making out, Cynthia? Okay, so that's my lining front pockets. No, not my lining front pockets, my exterior front pocket. Sounds good, Dawn. It's a good pattern. It is. Okay. So front slip pocket, I have done my exterior PC as well as I have cut my front slip pocket lining. I am going to do wings out of this. So the wings are the parts that I couldn't get to come together on this one. They should join at the bottom. Mine didn't because my fabrics were too thick. But for these outside of the wings, I'm going to use this material, and then I'll use my lining fabric for the lining side of the wings. So, of course, we have pattern piece for those. Now you'll notice on the pattern piece, when you go to cut your lining or your interfacing, she says to use a medium woven interfacing, but you will fold when you cut your interfacing along this dotted line, and that'll make it so it stays out of the seam allowances. Very, very, very important that this stays out of the seam allowances. Hi, Annie. Oh yeah, I have the full tutorial. It'll be up probably tomorrow. I just have to do the intro, outro, and I have to do the voiceover still. Okay, so we need two exterior fabric, one way and 2 reversed. So we need 2 of these. How do I want to do this? Okay, so I'm going to fold this upon itself. I'm not too worried about direction for this one. I'm going to cut one set, which will be reversed to each other like this. So when you fold it in upon itself like so, right sides together, when you cut them 2 layers like so, they should end up being mirrored to one another, 2 pieces. So we'll do this twice. Again, do not use waterproof canvas or vinyl for these wings, trust me. Learn from my mistake. Okay, so if we did that correctly, straight edge and straight edge. There we go. Those 2 are mirrored to one another. We need another set like that mirrored to one another. Doing the same thing, folding it double thickness, right sides together, and it'll give me another set of mirrored. And then we'll do the lining after. Okay, so again, you will interface these, but your interfacing you will cut on that dotted line to fuse it outside of the seam allowance. So we'll need this still for the lining. And I think I'm also going to use this fabric for my zipper pocket lining, just because I don't have very much left. So, so yeah, that is it for the exterior fabric section. We have done all of that. So now we're going to move to the lining fabric. Now I'm keeping this fabric out because I am going to do my zipper pockets. And yeah, my zipper pocket linings I'm going to do with this fabric. So I believe she has a pattern piece for that as well. She has pattern pieces for everything. So zip pocket lining pieces are pattern piece H. And I need 2 of those, and then I've exhausted this fabric, I think. I've had this fabric forever. So I have my piece upside down because I can't show you those measurements. I folded it upon itself so I can cut both lining pieces at the same time. Yes, I filmed the tutorial. I just finished it like 2 minutes before coming into class. I've been working hard on it all day, so I'm a little tired. Okay, so that's the 2 zipper pocket lining pieces, which you will back with SF101, and I'm going to chuck this last little bit away. All right, so now for my linings, one of these is going to be my card slots. Let me look at this fabric. I'm thinking what do you guys think? I'm thinking the purple for my main and my green for my card slots, or should I do it the other way around? Which one should be my card slots and which one should be my main panel? Help me out. Because I was originally using waterproof canvas until I got scared of it. Purple for the main lining, or green for the main lining, and then the other one will be my card slots. What do you guys think? You see the colors? Which one? Which one? Staying with the celestial theme, I will be using rainbow hardware for this one. Help me, which one do I want to use? Either. It's not helping me. I'm thinking purple for the main, green for the card slots. Purple for the main. Okay. Done deal. Alrighty. I'm doing really good with not buying new fabric. I'm going through all my vinyl. Sounds good, Cynthia. That's what I'm going to do. Okay. So your main lining panels are, where are you? And I made the mistake when I cut the tutorial was I cut them the same as the main panels without reading the pattern piece to find out that they're not the same shape. So our main lining panel F is a rectangular piece. I'm going to cut them both at the same time. How do I want to do this? So I'm going to fold this upon itself. Now my fabric, I always buy like 2 meters at a time of it. So that's why I have so much left over. Okay, so I'm going to cut my 2 main lining panels. And I hope I didn't confuse everybody with how to interface these. Should be fine. Okay, so those are my 2 main lining panels. So we can cross that off our list. So there's not that much to cut out. Main lining panels times 2. Now you will, I don't think she gave us, for the interfacing for this, if you are worried about thickness, she does give you what to cut. Your SF101 is slightly smaller than this. Now, if you're on an industrial, you will have to go edge to edge with your SF101. Otherwise, your machine will eat up your fabric. So I will just be using SF101 or EB Fuse Light for my all my lining pieces right to the edges. But if your machine is sensitive to thicknesses, make sure you keep them out of your seam allowances. Okay, I did my flap already. I did my front slip pocket already. Okay, we need to go back to the wings. We need to do, just like we did with the exterior wings, we need 2 sets of lining wings mirrored to one another. Say lining wings 10 times fast. That's really hard. Okay, so I'm going to cut them 2 at a time again. Fold it upon itself to make them mirrored to one another. Talk about changing fabrics last minute. Holy moly. I was wanting to make this in glitter vinyl. I am so sorry. I'm so glad I didn't. That would have been terrible. This is not one of those patterns you can do in thick vinyls, that's for sure. Not even on an industrial. But still, 100% domestic machine friendly. Just choose the right fabrics and interfacings. That's the same for any pattern, really. Okay, so there's another set. So we got 2 sets of lining wings, so that's 4 pieces. 2 sets mirrored to one another. Give me a moment because I'm feeling a little, where's my phone? Just gotta check my blood sugar, you guys. Bear with me. One moment. Yeah. Dawn probably noticed it. When my blood sugar goes low, I get kind of tongue-tied. But I have some fast-acting glucose in here, so let me take one. And then I'll be fine till dinner. So if you ever notice that I am having a hard time getting my words out, that usually means I'm close to low 4, high 3 for my blood sugar, and then I need to have something. So I'm at that point right now. Dawn, you're so confusing. Okay. So we've done our two main lining panels, our flap lining piece, our front slip pocket lining piece, our wing lining pieces. Now we need our zipper pocket facing. This is one that you really can't do an overlay for like I do, so we're going to do it. My least favorite way of doing a zipper pocket, but that's okay. So piece G, and you really don't have to interface this piece. You can if you want to, but you don't have to. You can interface it with an SF101 or medium woven interfacing. For my facings, I tend to not interface. So you can do that out of your lining. Yeah, right, Kim? You understand how I, like, you know it's happening, but you can't get those words out. It's bizarre. And I said with my medication, it's bad because I forget to eat because I don't feel hungry on it. So my number, I'm a 4-2. Oopsies. It's only the lower 3 where you pass out. I'm fine. I get tongue tied around a 5. Cynthia, you thought it too? Yeah. And honestly, stress brings blood sugar lower as well. And I actually, just before coming in here, I seriously thought I wasn't going to be able to finish that bag. I didn't think my machine was going to get through it. I've never, actually only once ever have I triggered the safety clutch on my machine. But your whole machine seizes up and then you got to press a button and to get it out. And it's like, oh my gosh. But we got through it. Okay. I done my zipper pocket facing. We did our zipper pocket, which was pattern piece H. I'm going to skip this card slots right now because we're doing that in a different color, and we're going to skip down to pattern piece J. Now I'm talking funny because I'm eating a candy and it's making me drool. It's hard to eat, suck on a candy and talk at the same time. Bad girl. Oh, look, everybody's giving me heck. Okay, so now we have pattern piece J, and we need 4 of these. Now, again, these were the pieces that made it super thick because I did this in canvas. So I had these side accents, I had the vinyl, and I had the many layers of gusset wings. So if you're on a domestic machine, these side accents, you will not interface. If you're on an 1181 or bigger, you will need to interface these with at least a woven interfacing if you're using cotton. I do not recommend, using canvas because you will cry like I did. It just gets too thick. That is so scary with the machine. Yeah. Okay. So I'm actually going to cut all 4 of these at a time. I'm getting brave. So I'm folding my fabric upon itself in half one way. And then I'm going to fold it a second time. So I have 4 layers deep. Don't have to do this. This is just me being lazy. No more stress. Breathe. Picture a private beach in Hawaii. The sound of the shore. I hate the ocean, Dawn. I'm scared of it. And I don't like the heat. Dave and I, in May probably, are going on an Alaskan cruise for our birthdays. His birthday's March, mine is May, and our anniversary is April. So we're going to go on an Alaskan cruise for 7 days, we decided. Now, I don't like the ocean, but I think it'll be okay doing that. Except for we are going to go whale watching, so I'll have to suck it up. Gotta do it at least once, right? Okay, so these are the side accents. Oopsies, I'm slipping. Don't slip, Brandy. Again, if you're on a domestic, do not interface these. And if you are on an industrial, then interface them with a medium woven. So that's those 4 pieces. And I'm not super stressed. It was just that last part going, oh my gosh, did I just waste all day doing a tutorial and waste all of this material? But you know what? I got it to work. So it's okay. And I'm actually really glad that I learned that, to share that with you guys and to be able to share when I do the tutorial. Mind you, in the pattern, she says 100% to use cottons and only vinyl for accents, but I didn't listen, so that's all right. Okay, so now we just have to do our card slots. Got more of this fabric for a different day. So this fabric is Andover, House for Andover Fabrics. It doesn't say. I don't know. I got this many, many moons ago. I don't like being on the ocean. I'm actually rather scared of it, but I think because I'll be able to see land, I'll be okay. And I don't drink, so I don't have that as a vice. You want to do? We should all go on a cruise together. Picture a trudge in 8 feet of snow. No, no, Dawn, I don't like snow. We got tons of snow out there today. Finally got our first snowfall yesterday. I'm a fall and spring girl. I like the rain. I do, I do. Okay, card slots. So we need 2 card slots. Ooh, what's this from? I saved everything back in the day. Look at this. So she has this pattern piece for this. Now for your interfacing, you'll see on this pattern piece how there are dotted lines down each side. So those you fold in before you cut your woven interfacing. Well, she says to use a lightweight non-woven. I do not know an equivalent for a lightweight non-woven here. So again, I'm going to use a medium, EB medium, or you can use SF101. Just make sure it's out of the seam allowance. Can you tell that my sugar is going up? I'm starting to feel more level-headed. You're a beach girl, Dawn? Oh, you're like Anna. She loves, you would have loved Florida when we went there. It was too hot for me. But it did rain, which I loved. So, okay, so I'm going to try to cut both of these card slots at the same time. Maybe. It's not big enough. So, again, there's ruler measurements on there if you want to use that. I'm just going to fold this upon itself. I think this is going to be a really pretty bag. And I'm going to put it upside down just because I can't show you guys what those measurements are. I'm going to use my pattern weights to hold this nice and flat. Okay, and I'm going to cut both of them out. So for this one, you'll notice that the interfacing goes all the way to the short ends, but it's out of the seam allowance at the long sides. Those are my 2 card slot pieces. Besides interfacing, I think that is it. Take a look here momentarily. Still got lots of this left over. Such a pretty color. I'm actually getting holes in my fabric drawer now, which is pretty amazing. Okay. So that is our 2 card slots. That's it. That's all, folks. So yeah, again, depending on what you're using for fabrics, choose your interfacings wisely. If you have any questions, reach out to me and I can try to help you choose your interfacing. I think I know what I'm going to interface with this. I think I'm going to be using Decavol Light. And I'm also going to be backing them with woven interfacing. We'll see. Okay. This is one thing. When you do your homework for your main panel pieces, because you're only going to put your main stabilizer on one of them, okay? We'll do the other one together. So our main exterior pieces, mine I'll have to back with EB Fuse, like a woven interfacing, and then my main stabilizer. So for your back piece only, leave your front piece without the main stabilizer for now. When you go to fuse your main stabilizer, whether it's Decavol Heavy or Decavol Light or whatever, you want to make sure you are fusing it 5/8 of an inch from the bottom. Okay? So she does have a pattern piece for the interfacing, but you want to make sure, and it's very, 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 very important for this pattern, that you draw a line at 5/8 of an inch along the bottom, and that is where you put your main stabilizer. Okay? Can I see what pieces? All my colors? Anyways, yeah. So when you go to do that, the back one, 5/8 of an inch up. In the pattern, she has you do that stabilizer after the fact, but it's really hard to fuse that interfacing on when you've already put on the overlay and the D-rings I found. So that is the one piece we can do beforehand. So you will do it 5/8 of an inch from the straight bottom edge. Oh, fabrics. This is my main. This is my flap. It's a vinyl. This is my main lining. And this is my card slots. So they're all kind of have an astrological type theme to them. Okay, any questions about interfacing? I think that is probably the biggest challenge of this. Again, I do not recommend using waterproof canvas for your wings or your little gusset pieces. No. Don't do it. Trust me. And do not use a thick vinyl. Trust me. Ask me how I know. I mean, I did get through it, but I almost didn't. Like, my machine was not happy with me at all, and I've never had anything bad, but it turned out good. I'm pleased with it. My cousin will like it, even though my wings don't go all the way together, but that's fine. I don't think she'd have anything loose in there anyways. Yeah. Oh, and of course, cut your crossbody strap or wristlet. Again, I'm just going to use webbing, I think. I have some black webbing here still. Oh, I do. This is going to be my crossbody strap right here. So that works out fine for me. And it is 3/4 inch D-rings for this one. I didn't change the pattern pieces to accommodate 1 inch because it'll just make the 1 inch hardware would just be too big on this if you're going to be doing that. Any questions? So that only took us an hour. Actually, not even. It took us half an hour to cut out because we talked for a good 25 minutes before we even started cutting anything out. And I believe this will be about a 2.5 class bag. 3 tops. I can't see it being a 4 class bag. It goes together pretty fast, so. Am I keeping this one that I'm doing with the, okay, I'm kind of being sneaky. So I have another cousin who bought a bag for me very similar to this back when I first started bag making, like 2019, 2018. And I made it on not even my Juki. It was on my Elna, my quilting machine. Anyways, she still has that bag. It was done in all cottons and it finally broke. It was a by Annie pattern. I don't even remember what it was called. I did not like making it at all. Anyways, she says, can you please fix my bag? I'm like, no, you need to get a better one. And that one, she's a meteorologist, and it was all done in kind of stars and that kind of fabric that don't have the same fabric. So I'm kind of hoping that she'll want to buy this one. So we'll see. So this works out good. If not, I'm pretty sure this is going to sell pretty fast. I would probably sell these for around $100-ish. Like, they don't take that much material, and they definitely don't take that much time. And I think that that price point will attract people. 100 to 115 Canadian dollars. We'll see. In cottons, $100, $95, $100. I'm sneaky. Sometimes when I come across a bag that I think one of my clients or one of my family members would like, I will kind of choose fabrics that I think will work. I'm happy to say for next month's bags, the two Zinas or whatever they're called that we're doing, I got custom orders for both of them. Yay! I didn't even get a bite on the Yoshis, which is odd. Sling bags do not sell in Kamloops, but I've got my fabrics chosen out for my two Yoshi bags. And I'm doing a Louis tutorial. I actually have 2 Louis sold, so I said I was only going to open up for custom orders for one of them, but I had 2 people, so I'm going to make 2. So yeah, no, it was pretty good. So I'm offering customs of bags that I plan on making for classes or what have you to my clients because I'm just too busy to be doing custom orders right now. But if they like the style of bags, they can custom order them. And then I do them in class, I do them for tutorial, and then they're out of here, which makes me really happy. Yeah, no bites on the Yoshis. None. But for some reason, sling bags do not sell in Kamloops. They do not. That's okay. Maybe once I have some made. I got some cute fabric chosen out for them, so. Sorry, Cynthia, I didn't mean to get so far ahead of you on the cutting. Any other questions? I think I'm going to film the intro and outro before I go make dinner, as soon as we're done early. And then tomorrow morning, I can do the voiceover and get it uploaded for all you guys. And I can stay in my pajamas, which is great. And then I'm working on the next tutorial. Do you guys want to know what it is? It'll release next week or this weekend, depending when I get it done. I'm doing the 55 West bag by Hills. Is it Hills Handmade? Yes. Yeah, so Cynthia, you'll do good with the Yoshi. Yeah, here, no. Or maybe it's just my clientele. They just don't do sling bags. It was a brilliant idea, Dawn. I'd love to say it was my idea, but it was actually Dawn or Anna's idea for me. Yes, so the 55 West. I can show you guys what it looks like. Well, the pattern. Let me grab it. Where are you? I've already got it cut out even. I'm excited to do this one. Oh, it's a 33 West bag. I put the wrong name. Oh my gosh. 33 West bag, Hills Handmade. I don't know why I want to say 55. I keep doing that. But I am making the front of the bag. I don't know if you guys can see this. We'll see. So it's got a really cool part in the front. You see it in this one? There's like this really cool angled type pocket. So I'm going to make that the front of the bag, and then the piece that has the zipper panel, like this one, I'm going to do for the back. It is a cute bag. It just came out in December, and Hillary asked if I would do a tutorial. Told her I didn't really have time, but then I saw the bag. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to make time for this one. I was hoping it would get voted in for this month, but it didn't. But that's okay. I'm going to do it anyways. Anna's brilliant too. So yeah, 33 West, not 55 West. I keep saying the wrong name. I better make sure I write it properly on the tutorial when I do it. So it looks like it's actually got a really unique construction. Believe it or not, it's a drop-in lining. But not a hard drop-in lining, I don't think. I'll let you know once I get it done. All right. Any questions about anything for the Lemonza clutch? Again, if you're watching this after the fact, choose your fabrics wisely. Definitely follow Jo's suggestions for the fabrics. She's suggested them for a reason, as I have learned. Even if you're on an industrial, if your vinyls are thick and your linings are thick, it gets really thick in some seams. So I 100% agree with her for it to be done in cottons now. And not even canvases, cottons. Or thin vinyls. But if you're using a thin vinyl, make sure you are using a cotton. This isn't a zipper top drop-in lining though, Dawn. I love drop-in linings that aren't zipper top drop-in linings. Sounds good, Cynthia. Yeah, just reach out to me. Now, if the How You Doing bowler bag gets voted in for February, I think it's winning for one of the days right now. It is a drop-in lining with zipper top. So I'd have to decide if I am going to actually teach it as a drop-in lining zipper top, which I probably should do because we haven't done that before, or to modify it to bound. But I know a lot of you don't like bound bags, so. But we'll see if it gets voted in. All right, so if there's no questions, thank you everybody for joining me for this very, very short, only 1 hour class. And I swear only half of it was cutting out this bag. Next week we will be getting the exterior done, and then I'll be showing you how to do the card slots so you can do the second card slot for homework. But yeah, it's going to be a really, really fast so. A binding bag, please, for the How You Doing bowler bag. That would be my preference. Anyways, thank you everybody, and I will see almost all of you on Thursday, I hope too, for working on the Yana. Don't like drop-in linings. I hear you. All right, good night everybody. Thank you so much. Love you all, and I will see you on Thursday.